You make sure.
Yeah, we in the building. 4 times go. Yeah, we know to get it live, man. 4 times go. New level, keep it high, yeah. 4 times go. Mic check, now we on the live.
That's right. That's right. Dope listeners, today is our after school, very special homecoming episode of 4 Times Dope podcast. I'm your humble moderator, Jamie, and I'm here with my brothers, Kwame, Kashara, and Jermaine. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Hey,
What's up?
Kashara, you good?
What's going on?
I'm great.
All right.
Yes.
Jermaine, you good?
Hold on, let me show y'all. Let me show y'all how I'm doing it.
Oh,
lifting up
dog.
socks.
How I'm doing it.
Right.
He got the
Right,
shoes
man.
on. He got a shirt. He got socks on.
Yeah.
Oh, we got the face sticker.
Yeah, he ready.
Kwame,
Right.
you
let's
good?
Get it.
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. Trying to be excited since it's not actually in person, but yeah,
Oh
I'm
my
definitely
God.
doing well.
Homecoming Herald over there.
Man,
Yeah, that's my name for the day.
that's right. That's right. We are still in the middle of a damn pandemic and living with it, you know. And I've learned so much about myself this year. It's like one of these is one of the things I've learned is my love language. And Gary Chapman wrote the book in 1992, and it's 5 love languages. And I'll read them. Words of affirmation, acts of service is 2, receiving gifts is 3, quality time is 4, and physical touch is 5. And I give you boys time to ponder and let you know that my love language is email.
Email. Okay.
Email. I don't like phone calls anymore. I don't like text messages, but I still love email. I mean, it goes right there. It's sitting on my desktop. I can do what I want. The challenge is there, but my love language is email.
You trapped in
Man.
1998.
The
Don't
Netscape.
take me back. No, I want to be here in 2020, but I love me some email. Like, don't text me because I forget that shit. Jermaine, what is your love language?
Oh man. You know what? Mine is got a couple of them. Mine is actually I'm a big communicator with my hands, so mine is affection, physical affection, touch.
So physical touch. Physical touch is your love language.
Mm-hmm.
Word up. Kwame, what is your love language?
I think mine is actually was it spending time with the person? What was the one you used?
Quality time.
Quality time. Yeah.
I
enjoy
spend
quality time.
time.
Is what I really enjoy.
Okay, so quality time. Kasharo, what is your love language?
Mine is definitely acts of giving. I took the
Acts of
test.
service.
Sorry, yeah, acts of service. Yeah, I took the test and read the book. So yeah, definitely.
Acts of service. We were taught that at NCCU, beautiful location that he gave us. We were the first class, the incoming class in 1995, where we were given the challenge of doing 20 hours of community service throughout the community, and we had to do it or else.
Yeah.
Like you get flunked or some shit. So
I remember that.
You didn't graduate.
yeah, we couldn't graduate. So
you
thank
graduated.
you
That's right.
NCCU for charging us with truth and service and giving us
That's right.
those charges. But yeah, love language. But remember, y'all, mine is email. I don't care about none of that other shit. Love me your email.
Okay. You made sure your fiance know that then.
She know it. She knows everything.
Oh, okay.
She don't call me. She
Email.
Hey man, whatever works.
email.
Whatever
You want
works.
me to get it? Yeah. If you want me to get it? Yeah.
No, the communication open.
That's right. So, boys, it's a virtual homecoming this year, 2020. Thank you, Donald Trump. We got to acknowledge that. So we want to get into our first topic, which is sharing homecoming experiences, undergrad versus alumni. And you know full well undergrad is a different world from being alumni when you got some dough in your pocket.
Most definitely.
So Kwame, if you could please give us your homecoming experiences, undergrad versus alumni.
I think undergrad, it's not like one single moment that sticks out, but
I think
it just in general, it would be just being in the midst, having access to everything, kind of you're in the know because you're hearing about it. Everybody's talking about, asking which, are you going to the Bombavant show? Are you going to the pre-dawn? Are you going to the game? So you get those, you hear it constantly, especially the whole week. You know what I mean? So I think being in the midst about it, and also I think the fact that, like you said, you don't have the money, but it's just like you make it work. So even if you getting a hookup for somebody at the mall, try to get your outfit together.
Got to get them Durangos, boy.
Yeah, it was like a hustle, but it was still fun and intriguing. So that was kind of like my, in a nutshell, what I think of undergrad as far as that goes. You been going to alumni?
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, okay. That's a little bit more different. That's more, like I said, you're on your big grown and sexy at that point.
Yeah.
But also, like I said, you have to kind of like figure it out as far as, because it's like everybody had the same idea, and some people faking it till they make it, some actually doing it. So it's just like, you're just trying to fit in and trying to have a good time. So it feels good to be able, like, oh yeah, I can pay for this, I can do this, I can I can be part of whatever party I want to go to, or
let me get these tickets before I go instead of standing in the line hoping
there you go. You want some grown up stuff at that point, whatever and stuff. So that part is cool. And just really just coming back and seeing people you haven't seen, even if you go every year, it might be years since the last time you saw them, versus when you're undergrad, you see them every day. You see them, the following Tuesday in English class. So that's the part right there coming back. Yeah.
Okay, Jermaine, sharing your homecoming experiences. What does undergrad versus alumni feel like?
Undergrad, I'm gonna say, I think Kwame touched on a couple of things. Your perception of homecoming is totally different. Every single homecoming is a new experience. Especially freshman and sophomore year, you're still kind of rubbing off the residue of high school, still getting used to being in that kind of environment. I think the expectation, like undergrad, the expectations of being on campus, because you've been living on campus or living in the city. So for you, it's more so you have to be somewhere before everybody gets there. You're rushing to get there type thing, right? You want to have all these things done before you get there. Whereas, but I will say, once you get towards your senior year, it's more so you want to be in the mix, but you ain't really got to be the first one to be in the mix. You want to be there, but you ain't got to be first, right?
You make your appearance at senior.
Exactly. And then too, with undergrad, the first 2 years, it seems as if we're pressed to get our friends and family there with us to experience this whole ordeal. You know what I'm saying? I remember being a freshman I remember being a sophomore, junior, and senior high school going to Central Homecomings when my sister was in there. Tribe Called Quest, Ice Cube, and all them performing, right? Now, all of a sudden, you graduate and you come back, you're in grad school, or you've moved on, and it's like, okay, as long as I get one day in on the yard, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Your expectations change, and you go back more so now to really network, to see old professors, catch up with some folks.
Yeah.
And I think the whole compass, everything, your whole compass of navigating through homecoming, it changes. You're more so on some grown and sexy. If you catch a party, you do. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
But as long as you get that feel, you know what I mean? You get that energy.
As long as you touch it.
As long as you touch it, you come back. I know for me anyway, that's what works for me.
Hey, what's funny? What's funny when you said real quick. Sorry, I may cut across you, but Jermaine, when you said it, like how it changed from freshman year to senior year, because I remember like being like a senior, maybe even a junior, we was like, yo, we ain't going to pre-dawn. Like we were too grown for that joint.
Exactly.
I'm removed from the pre-dawn.
Yeah, I'm above that. But then it's like if you was like a freshman or sophomore, you missed pre-dawn. That was almost like freaking suicide. You like,
why did you miss that? So just to give people background, pre-dawn is when we partied from, I think 12 to 6 a.m. I could be wrong.
That's
it.
It's called pre-dawn. Okay.
Yeah. And Jamie, I was gonna say pre-dawn is that rite of passage from the high school.
Yeah, you can't do that
dance to the collegiate dance. That's why freshman year is such a big deal, because it's that cold rite of passage.
I can party to 6 a.m.
Exactly. So that's that rite of passage from high school to college, right? To the college. Right. Matter of fact, to me, I think pre-dawn, that's that door you go through, right? on your road to becoming an alcoholic, right? I think that party does it. That's that pre-alcoholic party right there.
Pre-alcoholic. Because we
Pre-alcoholic,
can't be
baby.
partying for 6 hours. Kashara, what you got?
Pre-alcoholic, pre-sweatbox, you got your white tee, sweated up.
I'm gonna stand on top of them partying.
Right.
All night.
Dancing hard.
All night.
Yeah, that's why I met my boo with the pre-dawn.
At the pre-dawn. You picked up a wife at the pre-dawn.
I was
There you
hooked
go.
ever since.
Sure was. You was on her all night too, boy. That was ridiculous. I was like, that nigga take a break. Nigga was still up on her.
He saw that vision. Kashara saw
My
that
mind
vision.
made up.
Focus, man. Focus.
But yeah, so undergrad, Kwame and Jermaine pretty much summed it up. It's kind of just like you want to do everything. It's just like you want to go to every party, you want to go to the game, you just want to do everything, and funds are limited. But you do make a way. You make a way.
Money becomes available from some place.
Yeah, it does. You don't know where, but it does. It definitely does. So yeah, undergrad is different. Grad, well, being alum, it's a different vibe. It's like coming back to homecoming is like, it's not just about coming back to the yard and coming back to reminisce with old friends. That's a big part of it. But for me, it's like a rejuvenation type thing. Like you could be having like the worst year ever, but you come back to homecoming, you just get that energy and just like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like reconnecting with everybody and, coming back to have that shared experience that we all came from something great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's what it feels like for me.
Exactly.
A lot of us, I think most of us probably.
That's what, to me, Kashara, you just hit the nail on the head too. I know it's almost like when you're in the game, you can't see what's going on, but when you sit on the bench, you can see everything. Yeah. And it's like with grad, we come back and we really gravitate to what we are, the huge fraternity, the pride of being wearing these colors and being a part of that legacy and that Shepherd legacy. And I know for me, that's when we really get a chance to say, damn, I made it. Like statistically, we beat the odds. You understand what I'm saying? So I know for me, I think about all those things when I go back. And even now, me being a professor, I think about all the obstacles that I faced to even get here. And a lot of the strength it took to make it stemmed from coming through NCCU. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
Yeah. For me, undergrad, to me, it was witnessing a lot of things like with my eyes. Because I'm from Red Springs, North Carolina. We don't get that type of exposure down there. I mean, you're lucky enough to get to Fayetteville State to see what they got going on. But for me, when I saw the step show, I was like, yo, what in the world is going on? I want to be a Q dog. I already knew it. No, let's not be confused. I was full on sold.
Born, bred, and ready.
I was sold. You could be a brother to be a tall side brother is a whole nother animal. I was sold at that 95 step show, homecoming step show, man. And then seeing Bomb Avant, those pretty girls that are so upper class that you don't know who they are. They came out of nowhere. Because remember, they probably not on the yard. They too grown.
That's right.
Off the yard.
That's right.
Half of them I never seen before. Like,
Next motherfucker right here.
Gorgeous.
And seeing all that
for real.
now, grad, well, being an adult, it's like, who can I assist? Who can I help? I really believe in that, reaching back and mentoring and speaking to the kids in their class, speaking to the students in their classes, doing that thing, and certainly talking to the undergraduate brothers in my chapter, just seeing the thing and then partying like a rock star. Because that ninth one to touch the sky party is undefeated. We used to have the cabaret, but now we're grown.
Yeah.
We get to come up with our own parties. And the party that we go to now is the ninth one to touch the sky party.
Yeah.
And it's undefeated. It's been undefeated now for this is year. Well, shit, we wish we'd have had it. Thank you, Trump, whole ass nigga.
Yeah. Because last year, it had me.
And that was your 20th last year, 2019, Kasharo?
Yes.
The 20th anniversary. And that was jam.
Yeah, it wore me out.
I mean, we really get to do grown people shit.
It's like an old man.
Because we get to basically pick what we want to do. So that's the big difference. I mean, of course, having a pretty girlfriend and and going to see other girls and stuff like that during homecoming is amazing. But then having your lady with you during homecoming is a different animal.
Yeah.
It is.
We know what's so funny, like not even just what's going out now, but I'm thinking about undergrad, like I guess like the most infamous homecoming during our era that I actually missed it, and that was that '97 homecoming. I was there, but I wasn't there.
Yes,
I was online.
That one.
And guess who was on stage the whole show?
It was you. That's what I'm saying. The only reason I seen it was because of you. You taped it.
Yes, there you go. So
yeah, so I was on social probation.
Episode, but yes, I was on the stage. And let me tell you something about batteries back in the 90s. Them things, that camcorder battery worked all day, and I used one tape.
Yo,
the whole concert. We got to give the lineup before we move on.
Yeah.
We had Little Kim.
I was backstage with her. I think Jamie, weren't you back there with me?
He was. He was on stage.
Yeah, I was backstage. I was talking to Lil C's.
Who was back there?
Yeah.
So, Little Kim, Jay-Z, Backyard Band, or was it Junkyard? I think it was Junkyard. JYB. Who were we missing?
Freaking the
Uncle Luke.
Uncle Luke, yeah.
Okay, you got to understand that. That's a story into itself. But Jay-Z was there, and Uncle Luke was there. We missed a couple local acts. But for the most part, it was Jay-Z, Little Kim, Uncle Luke, and that shit was off the chain.
I never forget that.
What's Sekou's last name? Gargano.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to our SJ president, Sekou Gargano, for pulling that off. Him and his staff for pulling that off for us in '97. My God, salute.
Hey, Jamie, I think it was me and you back there. I think it was me. I mean, backstage. We was talking to Lil C's. Lil Kim comes off the stage, I think.
I was on stage the whole time.
Okay, well, I was in the back with somebody, and she walked right by. She was like 4'11" with some big shades, had her head down.
Had a big shades
and her fur coat on.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. C's was cool too. I'll never forget that.
Mm-hmm. It was him and some big old dude. They're all in these documentaries. Hawk, I think his name is, but those were big old guys back in '90.
Yeah, it was so funny. Like I was saying before, I was so freaking pissed because, like I said, I missed all of it on social probation, online, so I ain't see none of it.
You call it what, dog?
Social probation. I'm gonna be correct on here.
So
I wasn't going
social probation. We was online, but we was can't do shit.
Yeah, well, that's we was online, but I said that's the social probation part of it. Like, we couldn't go. Yeah. I ain't go nothing. I ain't go nothing the whole time. Like, the only thing I got a chance to see, you know, what I'm saying, I love my big brothers, but I seen them practicing that terrible
that show.
That was horrible. Like even when they were practicing like we was online, it like this junk is hot, right? And we were like, yeah. We looking at each other like this thing is horrible. So then when I saw the actual tape, I was like, oh my God.
Was that the one that Eddie was in?
Yes,
it was in it, but what the thing is,
coming up in the costumes.
Yeah, they had the Halloween costume.
The worst step show in Gamma history, bro.
But you know what? That all wasn't what necessarily. Well, it's kind of their fault because they followed behind. But they had his brother that came from University of Florida, and that's the same chapter that Emmitt Smith came from. Came from. So he came with this idea, and I think he sold them on it.
Ghosts.
Huh?
That y'all was gonna be some ghosts.
Yeah, I don't know what the idea was, but they bought into it.
We gotta post it.
And I was like, dang. But you know what? That was bad. But like I said, I think towards the end, we did win 2 back-to-back after that, though. I think we made up for it.
Hands down, that shit was off the chain. The mirror joint, off the chain, no question. Y'all won that. We was like, peace. We was like, all right, y'all, enjoy that. That's all. That mirror joint, I was like, ugh.
We worked hard on that show.
I have nothing for that.
Yeah, but that joint was cool, man. I'm too bad I missed it though. So I saw it on that. But it was so famous. Like I remember going like the class maybe like the Tuesday after, and one of the professors was talking about. So you heard what happened? And Prep got on stage. I think she called him Preston. And she said his government name, and she was just like, and he was up there, half naked, and she was going off, man. We was all looking. I was like, damn. And then I saw the tape. I was like, damn, that was off the chain.
He was off the chain.
It was. I mean, I wasn't there, but I saw it. So
yes.
Yeah. But now it's so funny. Now, like you coming as an alumni, like I said, I think the best homecoming. As after graduating, it might have been like 2018 homecoming. And the reason I say that because I haven't been like an 8-year span. I didn't go. So it was like so much change since last time I went.
Yeah.
So, they have like the people tailgating and they got the DJ all on the bowl and all that. And that junk was live. So you come in there and not expecting that and then seeing what's happening. I was like, man, that junk I was blown. It was in a good way though. It was definitely like the progression of what's happening on the campus and how things move and the energy. Man, it was like an energy you could feel, man. That jump was definitely like some good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you said that. Energy, because we sitting up here talking about how much pride we have, in the school and the energy we get, from coming back to homecoming. Why do y'all think, or what do you think is a challenge, or where is the lack of energy for alums to give back, not only to the school, but to their local chapter that they might be, the area they live in, which has a local chapter? Why do you think there's such a challenge for people to get involved and give back? And let me say this, by me being a part of the DC Metro chapter for 2 years now, which I still feel is late because I've been here almost 18 years, but I've only been a part of chapter 2 and now being the treasurer, I'm seeing things, being on the other side, that we have a lot of alum, in this area who are not a part of the chapter, which is a challenge. So what do you think could be one of those challenges, Jamie?
Well, I'll give you a backstory. So the current president, Tamika Bowden of the National Association, she came in my office when I was had the office in Durham, and we were just talking about some stuff for the association. And then I kept saying, they need to. She said, well, Jamie, you're they now. And by that time, I had been out of school. I had to be like 2008 or so. And at that point, I was out of excuses. So the thing is, we're still thinking it's a they, and we got to understand, us being 40, there's a class of 20-year-olds, then there's a class of 30-year-olds, 40s, 50s, 60s, all the way up to 80s and 90s, right? But in the association, we currently only have 1,600 members nationally. So the ineptitude becomes, the excuse is, no one told me to be a part of it. No one called me in. And there was no, I guess, clear information on how I could join the organization. And this last group, we figured out how to do it. So now it's called a one and done. When you come to pay your dues, you give us $100.
Yep.
$50 goes to the national organization, and then $50 goes to your local chapter. Now, if your local chapter only needs $40, that $10 goes in your name to the university. So we're out of excuses now. And then being in our case 40, in some cases 30, there is enough space and opportunity for everyone to join. It's not complicated. We stepped into the 90s and got on the internet and stepped out the website up, and it's easy to navigate. So that we're out of excuses. But the excuse is, I would imagine, from people who graduated, they treated me bad and so on and so forth. That's an excuse. That's an echo chamber because someone else said it. I mean, I had a wonderful time. I mean, it was hard but fair, but what else is it? If it's something you really wanted, you had to labor for it. In this case, you have to, now assist. So we're out of excuses. That's the true answer to it, because there's no more excuses. Is www.nccuaa.org. It's very simple. Just go online, pay your dues, join your chapter, and and assist and jump in. Now, it is an old boy network because a lot of older folk there. We call them grays. So we got to step up as maroons and get active. And if you're asking, well, Jamie, you talk so much, what are you doing? I am the co-chair of the Ways and Means, our fundraise. So my job is to raise money and to get these numbers up. So I'm employing everybody who's listening, who's an Eagle. And you don't even have to be Eagle. If you support us, please join the Alumni Association, because you're out of excuses at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
So what you think, Jermaine?
I'm just gonna reflect on my personal experiences coming out of school. Being a part of my alumni association was always something I definitely wanted to do. I think for me though, for years, man, it was just such a grind on my professional path.
Yeah.
A financial
so you were in
grind.
China, weren't you?
Yeah, I was just.
So where's the Alumni Association chapter in China?
Yeah, but let me put it in perspective. So it wasn't like um professionally. I had to do, if, for example, to get where I am now, if the minimum was 2 publications a year, I needed 4 publications a year. If the minimum was, hey, you need to have been visiting professor for 1 year, I needed 3 years. So, because I was up against the goalpost was being moved on my path. You understand what I'm saying, so to speak. So for me, it was more so like, I, you know, all right, time, money. Which one do I have to give? And it was, early coming out of college, even before grad school, was more so time. I did hit up a couple meetings or whatever. Even up here in the area, Kwame and I went to one. I went to one. I think when T Reeves take over.
Yeah, the vice president now.
Yeah, yeah. Went to one of those early ones. And then that's when the wheels kind of really started to turn. But I think for most folks, I think part of the problem is people feel as if they have to give money, and they may not have the means to give initially coming out of school. Everybody's grind may be different, and then some people don't have. Their perspective is time and money, and I don't have both to give. I know for me, I might have had more time, but financially, I was on this path to where I just needed to grind. I need to move around. I was out of the country, so forth and so on. And then Jamie just touched on it too. Some people just absolutely, well, they don't have an excuse now, but I think a lot of people, and maybe some even now, they have no clue how to become a part of, because they're so out of touch with the folks who are in that circle. A lot of people didn't pledge. A lot of people didn't play sports. A lot of people, which I know now, they just went to college, graduated, and left. They don't have any plugs. They don't have any type of hands to reach out to folks who are connected in that web. So I think Jamie just, I mean, echoing what Jamie just said, is easy now. It's easier now, but I just think everybody has their own issues, and some of the issues they have, we may look at like, wow, I never, thought that would be a plight you may have. So, and then I think lastly, Jamie touched on this. Some folks feel like when they went through school, and yeah, they got the degree, but they feel like they were disconnected. They may not have been treated right by the institution, or whatever the case may be, or the experience may probably just wasn't good.
That's the thing.
They didn't have the means to transfer. So I think it's a plethora of reasons. But primarily, I think it's finances. I think when folks hear or think about alumni association, they automatically think money. They're getting the letters in the mail, and like, yo, man, my funds low right now. I can't really be distributing whatever the case may be back to the school. So,
but before I go to you, Kwame, you touched on something I wanted to say. So I hear you saying like the money, and for some it may be the money because you just never know what people are going through. I think it also goes to their priorities too, because these same people who saying they don't have no money, they don't have no money getting those Jordans, they don't have no money going to that Jay-Z concert, they don't have no problem doing that. So I think it's about what's important to you. I mean, if you want to do that, that's fine, but I think it's about what they value more at that particular time.
Yeah.
You know
And then, Kashara, we'll make one more point too. I may mean cut you off. I think what's important to like keep in the forefront of our thoughts too is the fact that I think a lot of people don't understand the premise of the Alumni Association coming out of school. You understand what I'm saying? I don't, because that's something that's not echoed to us as we're going through our freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year in school. We really don't hear too much about that until we're probably out of school. I think the college experience, maybe grad school, a few friends is what people kind of package up and leave Central with. You know what I'm saying?
By and large, the most folks.
Yeah, by and large, most folks. So my point is, if you're not, like I said, if you didn't play a sport, which keeps you connected to somebody, if you didn't pledge, which keeps you connected to somebody, if you weren't a part of Bon Vivant or some other kind of type of club, outside of that, you're not really still connected to the institution, to be honest, in my point of view. So
it's funny you say that because I feel like I was connected not only because I was in a great organization, but I just feel like I got a lot of connections with people who went to school with us. But for me, I didn't even know what the alumni chapter was. In my mind, the alumni chapter was when you come back to your school, your home school, and you donate money to the school, you write a check out to NCCU. I didn't even know that you have local chapters in different places around the country for your school. I didn't know that
Yeah, that's a
until
lack of
like maybe
information.
like 5, 10 years ago. So I was like,
Yeah,
oh, what? Because no one fed that into me. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying? So it's one of the things like if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and that's
what you
also
think, Kwame?
Yeah, it sounds like you just said kind of as you said it, Kashar. I think somebody might have said it too, but I think it's part of it might be a lack of education while you was in school.
outreach.
And some of it might have been there. Maybe we weren't just listening at 19, 20 years old, like
Yeah,
hearing it. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying they wasn't telling us about it, but maybe we
even at
wasn't in the place.
graduation, they was
Huh?
there, but we wasn't listening.
Yeah. We probably weren't paying attention probably more than anything else. But I think also too. I think when I moved up to the DC area, and I remember going to a couple of events before being in my 20s, mid 20s at that point, and all I'm seeing is a bunch of older like people in their 50s and 60 years old when they threw an event together and stuff. And all I'm saying, like I see a bunch of old people, here. So I don't want to say it was a turnoff, but I didn't gravitate towards that because I saw a bunch of people that could be my parents' age there. So I was kind of not really feeling it at first. And then like you said, then it's just like trying to establish yourself as a young professional and then trying to make its ends meet, so whatever the case may be, or your priorities may be somewhere else different than giving back and not really truly understanding. But then I think like as time goes on, I think for me, to be honest with you, I think what helped me, well, I feel like I kind of probably know I needed to do it, but I think what helped me was actually my wife, because like I said, she's very involved in her alumni association, but Southern University, and like I said, she gives back. She's go to all kind of events and stuff. So when we was first dating, a lot of times she was inviting me to go,
To her
go to
stuff.
some of these events. But like I said, she's coming from Louisiana and only have a small base of people up here. So that was like home away from home for her. And what I realized as I start coming, going to a lot of their events, like their Mardi Gras balls and their cookouts and going to different events, whatever and stuff. For a lot of them, like so they based in Louisiana, so it's almost like, oh, this is a taste of home. So we get a chance to have our crawfish boil and
Etouffee.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, and our king cake and all that stuff. And there are all these things that's associated with their school or with their state, so they gravitate together as that. And I'm like, as I'm going to their stuff, I'm like, damn, I don't even go to my own stuff as much as that. So it's like I had to reflect on myself, and I like, yo, I need to go ahead and try to at least go in and enjoying and whatever and stuff, you know what I mean, and trying to be a part of it. Then I guess more as I start going, I'm not saying I'm super alumni guy, whatever, you know what I mean, at all. I mean, but I am active, like the past 2 or 3 years, and I guess how I looked at it as well, I'm giving my money for operational costs. If I can get to 2 or 3 events, that's still way more than I was doing the past, but 10 to 15 years, you know what I mean, and I'm paying my money every year. And I mean, really, it's $75 a year, so it's not like they breaking the bank to do that. You know what I mean? And really, if you want to be a national lifetime member, I think it's $1,000. I think that's
right. It is $1,000.
$1,000, yeah, okay. So yeah, so that's all attainable stuff. But even if you're paying $75 a year, oh, I can do that. So,
But not even that though. You could pay the 25
that's the local
right here
dues.
for local dudes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we eating $75 is going out in Georgetown. You know what I'm saying? It's going to get something to eat, or you're going to the harbor or whatever else you're going to eat. That's what you spend in the night easily.
Yeah, up there in DC. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Easily.
off the rip. Just
So it's almost like, this is school, you know what I'm saying, where I got my, my degree from. I got a lot of lifetime friends from there. I got a lot of experiences, there. And I know that I said when it comes to HBCUs, period, a lot of times we don't have the funding because our as whole, not just Central, but a lot of alumni associations don't give it back compared to the PWIs. So it's like, we got to do the best we can as far as doing that. And I think when I looked into it, I'm like, we in this area in DC, and I think, I'm not sure, Kashar or either Jim can correct me on this, I think the Metro chapter might be the biggest alumni chapter, or at least the second biggest.
We're the biggest. We're the biggest.
So I'm thinking,
it's the biggest. A lot of the power comes out of the DC. Like Tamika Bowden is from the DC Metro chapter. The last 3 presidents came from there. Back to Tanya Butler's Davis, and then
Calvin Kearney.
Calvin Kearney.
Kearney, and now Tamika. So I got the last 3 out of that chapter. So it's a lot of power and influence come out of that area.
But and what's so baffling is the fact that, like myself and Kashar go to some of these men. Like Kashar got a position now, so it's like I could think of all the people that I know live in this area who's not even involved. I'm like, damn, we got so many people that I know live in this area.
Just in your
and
area.
it's just like, yo, even if you ain't going to get your $75 up, so we can, you know what I'm saying? So we can try to, do something and raise, raise some money for the school or some kind of operate, scholarship
it's not money
or anything
for the school,
else.
It's scholarships. It's
Scholarships and everything else for these kids.
For the students.
So,
and that was the other reason that kind of promoted me to like get involved here. I'm like, I got kids, and they could benefit from that one day.
Yes, they can.
You know what I'm saying? So I need to get myself involved. That was also a driving, point for me. But another thing that you said, Kwame, that makes sense. You were saying we went to some of these events and we saw a lot of older people there. That is, I know for the DC chapter, I don't know about, what's going on down there, Jamie, but I know here it's been that way for so long. You have so many older alums there. They don't want to
pass the torch,
and that's okay to a certain degree, but you got to learn how to engage.
So it's called it's a microcosm of what's happening nationally. Shara, but you think about it. We have an 89-year-old senator in Dianne Feinbaum. She's 89. You got to have an age limit, or at least put somebody else in position. She can't send me an email she can't send me a text message if I needed to right now, right? Like, send me a WhatsApp message. We're asking a lot of an 89-year-old. So those grays, what we call them, they're not, that last bunch of baby boomers are not willing to move around for us at all.
They're not, because they're like trying to pay for events, PayPal or
they don't want to get on the internet.
They want to write their checks and mail them into the PO box.
Why don't you send me the letter? I didn't get the letter in the mail.
Which is fine, but you gotta stay with what's going on too. We gotta.
It's a waste of money to the chapter. It's a waste of resources.
We gotta, engage these younger people. And I was talking to our financial secretary, Tanya Coleman. Shout out to her. And we were talking yesterday, and she was saying how we gotta get away from this like Robert's rule of order. You know what I mean? Like that's like you said, the grays. That's kind of like where they are, and if we continue with that path, the chapter's gonna die out. It's really going to die out. So we got to figure out a way to engage. We can still keep what you have, but you got to figure out a way to let others in to get more people into the chapter, because we have way too many people here, that's not involved.
Sure.
We need to figure out a way.
But even that, like even when the times I went to the meetings, whatever and stuff, and before pre-COVID, whatever, and you sign like your name and what year you graduated and stuff at, like honestly, like the youngest that I seen, the meetings I've seen was 2005 graduate. So
that's bad.
And we in 2020, or about maybe that time, maybe 2019. So it's like ain't no 2010, no 2011 graduate, and none of that
72,
stuff is there.
62,
78,
class 81. You like, so it's almost like you got like almost.
And Chitley was open at the bottom.
Yes. So they'll drop a bomb on this. Chitley is officially gone. So if you go by campus today, it's just a grass field.
Oh man!
Oh really?
R.I.P.
Oh man!
Rest in peace, huh?
Did you get a brick?
No, I didn't get no brick. I didn't get a brick.
Okay. Well, lastly, before we move to the next one, I wanted to say another way that I think, just globally, with our school, I think by us, 3 of us anyway, being affiliated with Greek organizations. I think another way to get people involved and to like also raise money, I think we need to try like partnership, like create Greek panels within the alumni chapter, and that might be also a way to engage, more alum to get in.
Yeah, make a challenge.
Yeah, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we just encourage anybody out there, whatever city, state you live in, reach out to your local chapter and become a member. And if not, like Jamie said, make a donation to the school. We need to figure out a way to give back more.
Right.
Definitely. Hey, fellas, speaking of, we're talking about homecomings. And I just want to reiterate, too, that was some good information about the Alumni Association, too. Definitely, if you're listening and you're not a part of it, Kashara was going to help me out with some stuff tonight, too. So But
Yeah, most definitely.
speaking of homecomings, I think we definitely can. I think we just agreed 97 homecoming was one of the best homecomings in NCCU, right?
No
As
doubt.
an undergrad, yes.
As an
You was
undergrad, yeah.
okay, yeah, undergrad. All right, so I want you all to think about one of the best homecomings you've experienced outside of NCCU. This is a two-part question. What would you say is the best homecoming you experienced outside of NCCU,
Mhm.
and a homecoming that you would like to experience that you have not experienced yet? Let's see, Kwame, what you got?
You know, mine's gonna be obvious to y'all, but maybe not to the listeners. I was, I would say, the best homecoming outside Central that I've been to. Central's still number one in my heart, but but I would say Southern University. Like I said, mentioned earlier, my wife is a two-time graduate from Southern University, and she's very involved. And so I guess going down to Baton Rouge with her, Baton Rouge, Louisiana with her,
Right.
and actually experiencing. I went to two of the homecomings, I believe, and it's just a different vibe and feel. Not even just from Central, but to me, but it's even different to maybe some of the other East Coast HBCUs
Right.
like A&T
Right.
or Winston State or Howard or Virginia State. Any of the ones we probably can locally drive to. Um, it's a whole different vibe as
Different culture.
far as how it's like they have like a lot of land.
Tons of
So
land.
with this land, and they have like a big, huge like stadium. So you'll see about like 50 like RVs just lined up. Like you think you're going to an SEC like a
Yeah, football
Alabama
game.
LSU game
Yeah.
or something. So it's just like a
Mm.
black version of that.
Yeah.
And you see like a whole bunch, like I said, like the land, the RVs, the big, huge tents, whatever, and stuff all over the place. You see people driving like the little ATVs with boom boxes
Mm-hmm.
around campus and everything else. So it's just like a very like it's like a football field to me. I mean, I can't. I'm like, how you going to a big tailgate football? And granted, I'm talking. That's when the homecoming football game is, though.
Right.
It's definitely where Central is kind of to me feels like, yeah, you're going to a football game, but you're still going to be looking fly. You still, what I'm saying, you're still going to be on that. They look like they're going to a cookout.
They just stopping by.
I mean, I'm talking about like shorts and a t-shirt on. It ain't like getting fly like to the yeah, the people that do that, of course, but like in general,
By and large.
by and
It's
large,
just
it
something
feels
about Central though. Central has this stigma, man. I remember I remember I will never forget this. Our sophomore year, this guy by the name of Rashad McLeod, he played 3 and 4 at Duke University, but he stayed on Central's campus. His sister played basketball for Central. We used to call her Big McLeod. She used to hang out with Ern, Dwayne Pitt, and me. She's like 6'4". And she ended up transferring. She said, Jermaine, I just can't keep doing this fashion show shit every day.
Every day.
So on the ground, girls going to class, you know what I'm saying? They got the little
Heels
heels.
on.
She was like, and she was flip-flops and shorts every day or some leggings or something. She was like, I can't
Cut
do
off
it.
for PWI. What did she
Hey
go to?
man, hey,
What did she transfer to?
I think she went. I'm not sure what she. I can't remember. I'm sure she told me. I just can't remember. But
Probably
she
some
left.
shit
I'm
like
sure it wasn't
Cambridge.
HBCU.
Probably wasn't. I mean,
Transferred to Pembroke
Rucker was at Duke, so she might. I don't know. I can't.
that's
I know.
funny.
I know she was on the team essentially. But anyway, she ended up. I mean, I didn't want to cut you. I didn't mean to cut you. I
Yeah,
just
you
had.
good. Yeah, good. But basically, like that was the vibe. I'm not saying people looking like crazy down there, but it was a more laid
They're
back,
comfortable
comfortable feel. That's the feel was.
because
And
they're
people,
partying all night, Kwame. They're not going to another club, right?
nah,
They're there all day.
yeah, it's an all day event. I mean, they said
Right.
tents there and all that stuff and
You hit it
everything.
and quit it.
But people are super nice. Like, you know what I mean? Like you'll go somewhere and you can go tent to tent and people like welcome you, with the food, don't have to know you like that. So I did have a very warm, welcoming feel going to their homecoming. And yeah, like, they have a nightlife thing too. I mean, it's of course they have like the party, like the Friday and Saturday night and stuff too, so people kind of get, nice and dressed up there. But on campus, it just feel like, it's real laid back. And that was like the biggest difference that I noticed versus compared to Central and any private schools, like I said, on the East Coast that I experienced. And but it was so fun. It's still fun. It was just a different kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what about in the homecoming you have an experience that you wouldn't mind experience?
I think I wouldn't mind trying to go to. I've never been to campus before, but I always been kind of curious about FAMU.
Okay. Yeah.
So
They right butted up against Florida State.
Florida State. Yeah.
oh yeah, so I never been to it before, but just I seen like clips and stuff of like the campus and everything else, and I guess because maybe it's a Florida school and a big Florida school,
It's
I
the only
wouldn't mind I wouldn't mind trying to just see how it is.
Yeah. I got
That's a
you.
good one.
Charlotte, what about you?
Ooh. I haven't been to many homecomings actually for other schools, but of the ones I've been to how our freshman year, essentially, I went to Howard's homecoming with somebody from a high school that was horrible. Um, it was like this is just ridiculous to me. But honestly, I hate to say this, I really do. My freshman year, after going to our concert where we had Keith Sweat, Christopher Williams, and Cut Close, which I was not feeling that at all. I ended up going to A&T's homecoming, and it was everything they talked about. Again, it was my freshman year, but that homecoming was like that. And I went by myself on a humble because I knew some people who went to high school with, they graduated and went there. So I was like, I'm just going to go. And I found somebody, which is crazy now. I can't believe I did that. But I went there hoping to find, because cell phones wasn't big back then.
No, with no cell phone like that.
I just went and I'm like, I'm going to find somebody I know. Sure enough, I ended up finding my homeboy, Barron. He lived on campus. I found him. He's like, sure, you can stay here. And it was just like the best homecoming ever. Like, I was like, yo, like, this is so much better than my own school homecoming.
Yeah.
Fuck them niggas.
So,
What I say?
yeah. I hate to say it, but yeah.
Fuck them niggas. They got a Coliseum. We ain't got enough capacity. So let's be clear about why.
And it's separate.
It is separate. Thank you.
It has nothing to do with the homecoming.
Durham, North Carolina does not have a Coliseum. Greensboro happens to have a Coliseum. So when promoters promote, it's not A&T's homecoming.
That's right.
The concert during A&T's homecoming.
Well, let's be clear. Not that I'm taking a A&T.
Sound like it.
But then, sorry. But then they didn't have it wasn't at the Coliseum. It was on campus. Like they had it was on campus.
Shame.
So, yeah.
You went with the story, asshole. Why would you say that?
I'm just being honest.
So,
but, yeah.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But go ahead. I'm done.
No, I was gonna say. So, was it the concert? Was it the atmosphere? Was it the what solidified it for you? Or
it was both. It was everything. Like the energy that I was expecting to get from my own, and maybe I didn't get it because you got to keep in mind I didn't live on campus my freshman year.
Thank you. Got to be clear. You wasn't on the yard your freshman year,
but y'all was nowhere to be found either.
We was in the street.
I was in high school then, so I don't know.
So it was. I ended up going with my cousin, so it was just a different feel. You know what I mean? But I learned after that. But
because
it was everything. It was everything that you're saying.
You became a citizen of Fayetteville Street and figured it out. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I had no desire to go back to A&T after that.
No doubt. And so, Shara, what's a homecoming you haven't attended that you think you would enjoy attending?
Oh gosh, it's so many. It's funny, Corner took mine because I heard so much about FAMU. That was one of them. But honestly, I want to go to Southern since all y'all have experienced that, and Kelly talks about it so much. I really want to go to Southern. So
you got some
I want to experience that. Yeah,
okay.
So.
Jamie.
I have two. So the best homecoming I've experienced, the one that's like the most glitzy and glamorous is Howard. I went there in '95 with New Church and Bobby and Glenn, and then I went again in 2000, I think 16 when I was up there. So it's the most glamorous, and I've seen a lot of money being spent, and it's like, wow, this shit is amazing. And we saw Biggie in RFK Stadium in '95. That's what it was. Biggie Puff. They had homecoming in RFK Stadium. Now the one that I've went to recently is at Alabama State. Alabama State. My Neo Terrence Jones is the associate AD, and basically he's the second in command over there in the athletics department. And I've had an amazing time down there. They have Turkey Day Classics. They don't have a traditional homecoming. They have homecoming on Thanksgiving Day.
Every year.
So homecoming for them is Thanksgiving Day. So we go, he's over there. So I'm with him over there, and they have the best facilities in the SWAC. I say that and I mean it. They have the nicest facility, the nicest campus I've seen in the SWAC.
Alabama
And
State.
Alabama State, yes. That
Yeah, I've
stadium
visited
is
before.
amazing. You can Google it,
Wow.
pull it up. So then we go to Louisiana for that Saturday, which is the Southern
Okay.
versus Southern
Grambling.
versus Grambling. But Alabama State, I mean, they really set it out. So imagine turkey legs are all you can see, and I mean they just have Thanksgiving on campus. Now, I must admit, I have been in a lot of places, and a homecoming that I would like to experience, I done seen them all.
Mm.
I might say fam because I have not been to their homecoming. Hampton's dope, of course. South
Yeah, I
Carolina
heard
State is
Hampton.
really country, but they got plenty of space. You name it, I've probably been there. Now, let me say something about A&T. I have been there for past few years with my homies, and they'll tell you, A&T people tell you they hate that shit because it's so commercialized. It's not their homecoming. It's everybody's homecoming.
That's
With
right.
Just the
Central,
city of Greensboro.
it's the city of Greensboro's homecoming.
Mhm.
Now, with Central, we're an invite-only situation. You have to know somebody to get on
That's right.
campus to get in that circle. We're
Mhm.
way more wine and cheese than the mother. We will not. You can't come over here with us.
Yeah.
We always been.
We always been bougie.
Yeah, we bougie AF.
We always been
Oh, the
that way.
bougiest. It's because we got so many girls on our yard. I mean,
And that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Ratio,
one,
like
but
16 to 3 one
A&T,
time.
you could ask them. They're like, no, like it's too many people. There is such a thing as too much of
Oh
something.
yeah. Yeah.
And there are too many people on that campus at that time.
Yeah.
They can't really enjoy themselves. Like, we can have an open flame on the yard. They can't even do anything like that.
Yeah. And my nephew's actually a senior at T now, and he loves it. He loves it. But I don't think his mom and my mom actually my mom and his mom have been going to Auntie's homecoming. My mom likes to be able to kind of have a little room here and there.
Yeah,
Like
elbow room.
so, but all right. So I think for me, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Not just about to ask. Has your mom? I know she has, but she been to Central Homecomings before. What she
Oh,
think
yeah.
about it?
Yeah,
Quite a
so
few times.
she loves it. She loves it. She loves it. Yeah, yeah. I think for her, she was initiated by, from my sister coming through, uh, and just the whole aura. My mom loves the tailgating part and the vendors on the side selling food and stuff like that. And she's just been sold on that maroon and gray. Like she has Central T-shirts, Central towels in the house, and the
Great
culture.
taste.
Yeah, our culture where it's not like an open bar policy, like anybody can come in, right? It's just like, yo, you have to be part of this fraternity, or you got to like the credit union. You can't get in here unless you
Let you know somebody.
Oh, yeah. Somebody got to
Really?
sign you up.
yeah. But my mom, yeah, she loves Central Homecoming. For me, I think the best homecoming, obviously '97 was one of the best. I've done Howard, I've done A&T. Howard was more so, like Jamie said, flashy. I think when I went to Howard homecoming that year, that's the year Cameron had a Lamborghini
Yeah,
coming through.
Lamborghini going down New York Avenue and all that. Yeah.
So it was more of the glitz and glamour. Um, I liked it because it was eccentric and it was different, but I did see the love for their university.
Definitely.
I did see that. But when you talk about the love for the university, I think outside of Central, Howard was cool, but A&T, I saw something similar to how we feel about our school. The only thing I didn't like about it, like Jamie said, the numbers that they get really is not from homecoming. It's from that Coliseum promotion, right? And if you're listening, you went to T. I'm not hating on y'all, but it's the truth. The
Right.
Coliseum and A&T, there's two separate entities. It's just promoted as one.
Right.
And I think for me, and don't get me wrong. I think A&T, their alumni they come back and they support.
Oh, they got their shit together now.
Yeah,
So
they
if you
got
wanna
together.
feel
Now.
like
Yeah, definitely.
somebody to look up to. They got their stuff because they have an
Yeah.
alumni event center on campus, which is amazing.
And
Oh,
see,
that's dope. Right
that's
there.
amazing. That's dope. But that camaraderie that they have over there, outside of NCCU, I love it. At T. A homecoming that I haven't experienced that I would love to probably would be Grambling.
But it's
Probably would
country
be
up there, dog.
Her is real country.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm more so on the athlete, the football thing to kind of get a feel for that
Uh-huh.
that old that
Eddie
historical
Robinson.
grammar football team. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Robinson type thing. Outside of that, maybe FAMU. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, between Central's 97 and the 2000, was it 99 Aggie Eagle Classic at NC State, I think them probably the two my best times on campus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
But I do
So
You
want
know
to
what?
touch on. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I know we talking about HBCUs and this homecoming in general, but being from Greenville, you know what East Carolina University is, going there to
G
a
Vegas.
homecoming,
Yeah.
yes, it's it's a different feel, of course, because it's a PWI. But
Right.
the black people, of course, it's like they own their culture. So when they come back to homecoming, based on the people I've been around,
Mm-hmm.
the energy is just still it's still different. You know what I'm
oh
saying?
yeah.
It's like they kind of have that same energy we have, be just being them. You know, the black people who hang together there, but
Yeah.
it's just a different feel. So PWI homecoming to me it seems like they come more for like the football game and just to
Fuck
drink
that game.
beer, you know what I'm saying? Versus
Because
right?
gotta
The
love
energy
Boring
just it's
game.
just different. I just feel like I just feel like it's nothing like an HBCU
you
No,
know
of
what,
course
and
not.
it's
Because there
not. I
isn't.
went, I went to Carolina's homecoming, and one thing I watched was the black people there and how they were in these little pockets. You can tell they were in these little
Yeah.
pockets, and their experience at a PWI is nothing like our experience. And I think one thing, the difference is we're on one accord at the HBCU, from the horns in the band
Mm-hmm.
to the discussions around the campus, to the food being sold. Over there, they're still under that supervision of that PWI. You understand what I'm saying? And if
Mm-hmm.
they, I think even if they try to, shit, what are they gonna do? HBCU-ish. They can't do anything. It's it's it's
Nah.
it's,
At all.
it's
At all.
But I do want to. You got a good point, Jermaine. I do want to even we just been talking about like homecomings and just HBCU experiences too. Um, that year, like with Jamie, when we met up down in New Orleans and went
Mm-hmm.
to the well, we didn't meet up on purpose, but have you happen to go
Value
down there?
class.
Yeah, the Value Classic thing. I really enjoyed myself that weekend. I actually enjoyed myself probably more so than the homecoming. And I
Right.
think because that was like the biggest, I guess, a black event I ever seen as far as
I agree.
in that Superdome. I never seen so many people at a game at a
And in the
HBCU
city.
game
Right. And in the city.
in the city too, all
Right.
over. I mean, it was off the chain. It was nothing but parties
But it's common
everywhere.
to them. See, the thing about it is, if you think about it, Southern and Grambling, I think Southern's the only public university, public HBCU in Louisiana. Because
Might
is
be, I think it is.
Grambling private?
I don't know. It
Even
might
if
be
they
private.
are, the point I'm making is there's only two of them, right? Where North Carolina, we got 6 public institutions, and A&T having 11,000 kids, and Central having 8,000. I think A&T got 13, and we're now up to 10. But imagine if we were one school.
That's
So
right.
this, all those people are from that big state of Louisiana,
That's right.
and they know they can only go to. They only have 2 options. If we wanted to, we go to Fayetteville State, Winston-Salem State,
Elizabeth
Elizabeth
City
City
State,
State.
Yeah.
You can go to all. You can go to
Shaw, St.
Johnson
Aug,
Smith, Shaw. You can go to all these different little
That's
black
right.
pockets.
John C.
Just
Smith.
Steve
And
Smith.
remember, we
Yeah.
crazy enough to have
Salem.
homecoming on the same weekend. Like this year, A&T has homecoming the same time we have homecoming. I think along with Virginia State or somebody. So we got plenty of options. That's our problem. They ain't got but one show down there.
Yeah,
Southern
and everybody
versus Grambling.
gravitates to it.
That's right.
And then
Correct.
you're in a city
Good
where
point.
you can publicly drink and you can walk down and get drunk all like you want to and all that. So but I had a
Exactly.
really good time. I definitely want to share that time with y'all. Like, all us come down there again and just what I mean, and just enjoy it. We definitely have a good time because I went to that Manny Fresh party. Man, he was freaking damn getting busy on the damn freaking 1 and 2s. Boy, I was just like, I had a great time.
And what?
Yeah, man.
And that's something when it's only 2 schools in the whole state, and you don't have to compete with anybody else. Like, you know how
I
much.
think they got Dillard though. Ain't Dillard a black school there or
Yeah,
Xavier or something like
there.
that? It's private or something.
Oh, there. You got Xavier.
And yeah,
But as
yeah,
far as size wise,
yeah.
come
That's what
on
I'm saying.
now.
You're just Southern Grambling. Yeah, you're right.
Southern Grambling, but we got two big ones just right here in 30 minutes with each other.
That's right.
That's true too.
Along with Winston way out in the west, and in the west, and then you got Elizabeth City way out in the east.
Fayetteville down
Got this whole
south.
thing covered, man.
Yeah, you're right about that. So,
Yeah, man.
All right, boys. So, to end the show, you know what time it is. Insert music.
Don't have it yet.
So here you go. Here you go. The dose of dopeness today is Subject to Change Incorporated.
Right.
That is my firm. We customize in screen printing, embroidery, and graphic design work. Also promotional products. We've been in business now for 16 years. We celebrated our 15-year anniversary last November, and we had a blast. We've been in business since 2004. We have such customers as North Carolina Central University, North Carolina A&T State University, Delaware State University, Alabama State. You name it, the list goes on and on. We can get it done. We do caps, hoodies, you name it, you need it, we got it. Follow us on the Instagram, on the Facebook at S2C LLC, and our website is www.shops2c.com.
Hey, Jamie, I want to ask you, so can you tell the listeners, like, what was the idea? How do you end up starting this business? What led you to, what inspired you to start this business?
And the story goes like this. The business was started in 2004. I came along later that year. I met my future partner, Nykia. She's a Delta from Duke. And Zach Hawkins and I, he's a state rep here in Durham, North Carolina. He and I were at the Duke bonfire. It was 2004. We had nothing to do after Duke won. So we just decided to go over there. We ran into Nykia, and she had told us about the company. And then I asked her, could I be down? She told me no. But then she recanted in about June of that year, and we've never looked back. So her reasoning behind starting the company is because there was not a lot of options in Durham. At the time, it was, if y'all remember, to get line shirts and stuff, you had to go to Special Tees.
Special Tees.
Right.
Yep.
And they tried their best. They just couldn't keep up. And they didn't have a good systems-based business. So we saw a way into that market. And by that time in 2004, they had probably they fizzled out. It was just so much work. Sometimes you can have so much work that you just can't do it all. But at the time, for Black folk, we knew to go to Special Tees.
Yes.
So that was an opening in the market, and we jumped right on it. And what I brought to the table was people. I knew people. And what she had was skill set and ability to understand contracts and how to, say, find a supplier. I didn't know how to do any of that, but I learned along the way. So we're still business partners, and we're still going strong. We just moved to Raleigh from Durham after 15 years. So how we started, because there was a hole in the marketplace.
Cool.
That's what's up, dude.
Well, man, congratulations, man, for 16 years, man. Like I said,
still growing.
That's definitely a blessing, man.
Still
to be
growing.
Business, business owner.
Yeah.
That long, man. Definitely.
Yeah, I've been full time since 2006 when my car got repossessed. I had like, well, shit, I ain't had to do nothing. The car got repossessed. I was like, well, ain't no more excuses now.
So you were one door closed, another one open?
Did it open? That's a story to itself. But yeah, I've been full time since 2006. Full time entrepreneur.
What's up, man?
That's awesome, man.
All right, man. So, like I said, hopefully everybody enjoyed this Ace homecoming
It's
episode.
the very special back to school. It's the very special homecoming episode. You know, like they had those after school specials.
Yeah. But also too, people, once again, man, like I said, try to like find your local school, especially if you're an Eagle, you're listening to this, and like I said, just trying to join your local alumni chapter, give back, saying, go to the games or whatever they can. Like I said, these, especially now during the pandemic, they definitely need some of this money to go back for some of these students, man. So we have to remember where we came from, and like I said, this is us being more seasoned to just give back to our school.
And check on your fellow Eagles. We are not okay.
We are
with
not okay,
having
y'all.
homecoming this year. We are not okay.
And this weather off the chain down here. I'm in Raleigh. And this weather's off the chain, y'all.
Oh man,
perfect for October weather. I mean, it's not cold. It's not hot. It's just
nice and fall. Nice fall time
chef's
weather.
kiss perfect.
Yeah. All right. Until next time.
Remember to follow us on the internets. Four Times Dope podcast on Facebook, MySpace, and Instagram,
Twitter.
and the Twitter.
YouTube, Facebook,
And YouTube. You can see our faces on YouTube.
Apple, iTunes, right?
Yep, Apple.
Yep.
All right. Until then.